Hello everybody, I am Fire Lotus and this is another live Witches chat, and we're going to talk primarily about protection. I have multiple things that I'm going to show you that you can use, whether that be crystals, different types of powders. I also will be reading some things out of this big ass book about protection. But before I do that, I have some exciting news. For one, this Friday I will be interviewing the creator behind this amazing deck, Flowers from the Dead. I will be interviewing her Friday night, so that episode will probably be live later on that night, or it'll be posted Saturday, and then Saturday I will be interviewing a TikTok creator who is a gray eclectic witch, the best way, but heavily influenced by the Celts, or by the Celtic beliefs. So if you have any questions on that, drop them in the comments or DM me. That way I can add it to a list. Also, exciting news. Alice Hoffman, if y'all don't know, she is the author behind Practical Magic, The Rules of Magic, and Magic Lessons. Magic Lessons being a prequel to the entire series. But she just released on her Facebook page that she is also creating a fourth book, which is going to be a sequel to Practical Magic. For the people that don't know, Magic Lessons is the newest one that she's came out with, and she actually, it's about Maria Owens, the, original witch that it all started with. And it also gives you a little back tell, but basically it's about her life. I've already started reading it. It's amazing. So, yeah. So what we're going to be talking about today is easy protections that you can either do to yourself or to your house or around your house. So yeah. Okay, so for one, this right here is my version of graveyard dirt, but it is not actual graveyard dirt. It is just eggshells, coffee, and a couple other things mixed in together. You can put this around your door, your windows. The next one I'm about to show you was sent to me by a dear friend, and it is a mixture of eggshells and a couple other things. Eggshells, crushed eggshells, and you have to make sure that they are dried out perfectly, because if not, you get a sulfur smell. But you can crush up eggshells and put around your windows and put around your door, and that's a great protection. And then we have, of course, red brick dust. It's very easy to make. It does not have to be a certain type of brick or anything like that. You can literally just get a brick, crush it up into a fine powder, and put it on your door, front door, side door, back door, and your window sills. That is also great. And then we have pyrite. Pyrite or fool's gold is a very good one, especially if you need to protect yourself. It is a very good one to have. Of course, we have black obsidian, which is volcanic glass. We have, and I have two versions of this. This is a keychain that I made, my partner, but the stone sticking out of it is black kyanite. Another version of black kyanite, or a better picture, is this right here. I love it. It's one of my... I will state, do not drink or consume alcohol wearing this stone, because you're going to get an effect that you've never had before. Of course, one of my favorite stones are crystals, smoky quartz. We also have shells. Any type of shell you can place in your windows or around your house. It stands for protection, because what does it do to the creature that eventually lived in it? It protected them. Also, acorns. Acorns are great for protection, prosperity, luck. Not to mention, they come from an acorn tree. I almost said oak tree. But, you can use that. You can use moss. You can also use oak leaves. Another great protection spell, very simple to do. Cypress. If you can get some cypress leaves, or little, however you call that, wrap it in some cloth and put it in your wallet, your purse, your bag. That's also protective. We also have another one, which is snake skin. Snake skin can be a protective. Watch out using it, though, because it does have, it has properties of going through a change or shedding your old skin. So, yeah, there's those. Of course, we have the hagstone. This interesting story, this was actually gifted to me by my father-in-law, who is not a practitioner whatsoever, but he knows that I collect stuff. We also have another one, which is a canine tooth. That can stand for protection. Let's make sure. Okay, yeah, that's for the protection ones. Also, shout out to this company, Art of the Roots. They're on Amazon. They also have a Facebook page. Amazing stuff, and actually not expensive whatsoever to get. This bottle, I think, was like $7. Shipping and handling, of course. So yeah, those are some easy protection things that you can do and go over. And I also have it, Florida water, of course. Florida water, white vinegar is also great protection as well. You can use a mixture of Florida water, white vinegar, and a couple other essential oils if you have them, and wash your door repetitively. Also, another one that I recently just learned, brooms. Of course, I've talked about it goes and dates back to the Southern folklore primarily, Appalachian folk magic, but keep a broom outside your door or outside your house, your front door. That way, if a Hank comes by, they have to count all the little pieces of the broom before anybody can actually come in. So that's a very easy one. Also, cinnamon brooms, protection. They're definitely selling them now. It's the time of the year. But you can also, if you are a consumer of alcohol, wine bottles, hang one of them up. That's a spirit trap. It also dates, it also has in Japanese and Chinese religion as well, because bird seeds, you can throw bird seeds or rice outside, and the haints or spirits that wander at night have to they have to count them before they can actually come in, and then the sun rises and they kind of just go away. Dream catchers, of course, and then all the things that I've shown, brick dust, eggshells, salt, of course, black kyanite, or better example, black kyanite, brick dust. It does not have to be from a certain place. It can be just a regular red brick. Crush it up. If you do crush it up, wear a mask. Same with the eggshells, or if you're ever messing with bones. If you crush that up, make sure you're wearing a mask, because breathing it in, it can do damage to your lungs. We have shells. Place those in your windowsills. Fool's gold or pyrite. Black obsidian. And these are simple things that you can put all throughout your house. And if you are not out of the broom closet, or if you're not a true practitioner, but you still want to do some extra protection, it doesn't look like the aesthetic witchcraft. Let's see. And by the way, if you can get your hands on one of these books, it literally is like 5,000 spells or more. Let's see. Aloe vera, you can also... Aloe vera, not only does it help your skin smooth out, helps with sunburn, but it's also very protective. Let's see. A bay leaf, of course. Bay leaves are extremely protective, and you can also carry them in your wallet or purse or bag to bring in luck and prosperity. We have mirrors, of course. If you were to put a tiny mirror on all, like, the four corners of your property, it would reflect any negative energy. With brooms, though, you can also, if somebody comes into your house that you don't want, after they leave, you can sweep up, and it's basically sweeping out that negativity. Watch out, though, because there is a folklore, kind of a superstition, that if you sweep under or sweep over someone that is not married, they will never be able to get married again. Let's see. Blueberries are protective. You could actually dehydrate them or dry them out, crush them up into a powder. Let's see. I mean, for the women out there, your menstrual blood is extremely protective. Be careful, though, using any type of bodily fluids. Do your research on that. Be very careful. Cactuses. I've made a small video about this before. Cactuses, we have some that naturally grow out here. I don't know the actual type, but they create thorns about that big. Those are extremely good for protection. You can also get a pair of scissors, hang over the door. Make sure it's fastened, that way it doesn't fall off, but you can hang it over your door, and it will basically cut any negative energy that comes in your house. Salt, of course, but contrary to popular belief, salt is very good for absorbing. For one, it absorbs all energy, but Be careful with using salt outside because it razzes the land, and basically what happens if you add enough salt to a piece of land, you'll never be able to grow anything because that salt won't go anywhere and it screws up the land. So if you were to make a mixture, use a little bit of salt with corn flour or cornmeal or flour in general. It's white, so it can stand for protection, but you're also not harming the environment. That's one thing you can do. Let's see. Eyebright. Eyebright is a really cool herb as well. It's in powder form most of the time, and you actually have to activate it, scientifically too, you have to activate it in the sunlight, because what happens is when you ingest it, it actually goes to your eyes, and it helps reflect the light in your eyes. Mugwort, be careful with mugwort. I know mugwort is trending, but if you are nursing, or if you're trying to get pregnant, or if you possibly become pregnant, do not go anywhere near mugwort because it can cause miscarriages. So, and then also in general, if you are trying it as a tea or a smoke blend, do your research. Some people can be allergic to it. You could be allergic to it and not know it. So please do your research and try to do like a test, rub it on your skin to see if there's a reaction. St. John's wort is a very great herb for protection. But again, if you are bipolar, do not go anywhere near. You can handle it, but do not ingest St. John's wort because it can make you go through a manic episode. Trust me, I know this from personal experience. I made a tincture of it when I used to work at a herb store. Not knowing that it actually has reverse effects with people that have bipolar. Now, people that are depressive, again, I am not a doctor, and disclaimer, I'm not a doctor. But yeah, be careful with St. John's wort. It is known in the herbal world as like the herbal Prozac, but again, go to your doctor and talk to them before you digest anything. Vervain, blue vervain, which grows here in America all the time. Most of the time it's found on the sides of the road. An interesting fact, most flowers found growing, natural wildflowers that are growing on the side of the road, they have protective benefits anyways, because way back then, before we actually had roads, people would use, basically, you know, when it was just like dirt roads and stuff like that, when you're horse-drawn carriage and horseback, they would use the flowers to basically indicate that's where the road ended, so they wouldn't randomly go off the side of the road. Yarrow, wormwood, chamomile, of course, fennel, nettle, not stinging nettle, but nettle, plantain, watercress. There's club moss, there's Icelandic moss, but do not digest that because it is poisonous. Let's see, you got chalk, you got cornmeal, like I said before, flour, henna powder, red brick dust, rice flour, of course, rum, salt, tobacco, all protective. Interesting fact as well, if you are a practitioner and you have a spell or a ritual that calls for a poisonous plant, but you cannot find it and you do not want to touch it, tobacco can be used to substitute that poisonous plant in your practice. Turquoise, of course, vervain, whiskey, of course, wormwood, let's see, century herb, let's see, black salt can also be used, and black salt, it's very easy to make. You get salt, you get charcoal, pepper, and basically grind that up. There's also red salt, which is a mixture of different herbs, but you can also just mix salt and this together. But like I said, be careful with using salt outside because it can mess up the soil in your area. Let's see. Dill is another protective herb. Devil's pod. There's multiple other names for that. Gardenias are also for protective. Roses, Rose of Jericho. If you can get a Rose of Jericho flower, here are some interesting facts about that. Rose of Jericho, it is known as the eternal plant because when you get it, it's in a ball and you add water and it literally comes back to life. A lot of people don't know that if you collect some of that water, you can actually use it in beauty because it has rejuvenating powers. And then there's also this spell that I've shown before, or this oil that I've shown before, which is calendula. Calendula naturally speeds up the way that your skin naturally heals. Calendula flower actually speeds that up. I use it all the time. The oil that I have is about 7 years old. And let me tell you, if I get scratched by a cat, after I clean that wound and I put some of that oil on it, literally what would take a week for me to heal, it can be 2 to 3 days. And that's science. That's not even magic. Which magic, science, that kind of goes hand in hand. There's also dragon's blood. But very interesting fact with dragon's blood. If you are on any property where Native Americans are, basically anywhere in the continental United States, be very wary of using or burning dragon's blood. If you do burn it, because it is a resin, use sweetgrass right after that. Sweetgrass, because due to the fact that dragon's blood is actually very harsh when it comes to Native Americans, they don't like it that much. So if you ever burn it and activity around your land or property starts, acting up, that's why. Like I said before, if you want some oils that you can use, I don't know if you can see that. There we go. Art of Root is a very, very great company to use. And they do expire. I will say that they do expire, but they smell flipping amazing. And like I said, they're cheap. They also offer herbal mixtures, incense blends, candles. I think they have a couple other products. You can check them out on Facebook at not Etsy, and Amazon. They're really, really good. So yeah, like those are easy, very easy protective things that you can do. And it is the month of October, and the veil is extremely, extremely thin this year, more thin than it normally is due to the current world pandemics. But yeah, like if you do mess with any herbs, do your research. Try to contact a doctor if you're ingesting them. But everything that I just showed you or talked about, you do not have to digest. And then, of course, amulet-wise, we have the pentagram, and then the all-seeing eye, or the Hamza. Those are very great ones. A cross can also be used. By the way, if you are a practitioner, you can use crosses in your practice because it can represent the 4 elements coming in as a whole, instead of the pentagram or pentacle, depending on who you ask. Technically, a pentagram is actually just a 5-point star, and a pentacle is a 5-point star in a circle, but due to pop culture and everybody else, we just call it a pentagram. And the pentagram represents multiple things depending on your practice, but for most people it represents the 5 elements: spirit, which is us, spirit, earth, air, fire, and water coming together as a whole. To other people it represents the god and the goddess coming together as a whole, the god and then the goddess. So yeah, those are some simple, very, very simple, easy protections that you can do even if you do not practice. And I'm going to cut this one short, so I will go ahead and shuffle the cards and see what it has in store for everybody. This is a general pool, so if you replay this or if you rewatch this and you got to this point, then yeah, drop it down there. Also, let me know what your favorite crystals are. What's your favorite crystal? So, anyways. What does the collective need to know? Also, be very wary and careful about creating anything new or starting anything new or signing contracts, because we are currently in Mercury retrograde. So, and that's going to happen until November the 3rd. So, it's always good to keep that in mind. Also, make sure your communication skills are precise, because now is the time that arguments or spats can happen just due to a simple fact of just basic misunderstandings. So yeah, let's see. The donkey, burden and heavy loads, which means some of y'all are carrying a bunch of emotional or just in general, y'all are carrying a lot on you. You need to let that go. It's holding you down. It's causing issues. It's blocking your flow of energy. We also have empowerment and freedom. Those go hand in hand. Release the burdens, release that heavy load, and you will be empowered and you will find more freedom with that. And then the last one, renewal. And these go hand in hand. Release your heavy burdens. You will find empowerment and freedom. And then you will also find renewal. And some of you may be finding some fertility, so keep an eye on that as well. I am Fire Lotus. Like I said, I run a podcast, Fire Lotus the Witch Podcast. I will be interviewing them. I have one Friday, I have one Saturday, and I also have to get up with my friend who lives up in, or who practices the Appalachian folk magic. I have to get up with her and set a date. But yes, those podcasts will be coming out within the next 3 to 4 days, so keep your eye out on that. I am hoping soon that I will be able to start making more content on YouTube, but for now I've been focusing primarily on TikTok, which is working because I'm almost at 900 followers. Whoop whoop. Also, if you haven't seen it already, go to my videos here on my page, and I've created a series of witchy TikToks. There's a bunch of information in them. I'm telling you now, go check them out. If you do see this and you are a practitioner and you would be interested in being interviewed for my podcast, send me a DM. I always answer within a few hours. Normally, I answer right away. So until then, I hope y'all enjoyed this. Again, I'm Fire Lotus. I'm still offering full readings on your life path for $10 this month only. So yeah, if you're interested in that, DM me. Until then, peace.